secondary scoring throughout the lineup, it's been tough to come by. Just how important is it, obviously, just to going forward to get more than just the top three guys producing?
I mean, it's important. I think our 5-on-5 scoring overall, especially maybe the last 10 games or so, hasn't been great. So we got to find ways to get more pucks to the net, possess the puck a little bit more in the offensive zone, get more bodies to the net. The rush game can kind of come and go sometimes, but we got to be able to create chances from below their goal line and around the net a little bit more.
Is that the key, just getting more on the inside?
I mean, I think it's part of it. I think it's, it all goes together, how well we break the puck out. It dictates how well or how much time we play in the offensive zone. If we're not breaking the puck out, then we're not going to be in the offensive zone, or you're going to be playing the D zone for the first 30 seconds of your shift, and then you're going to be changing. So it all goes together, but I think that's a good starting point is to get more on the inside, more on the net.
What did you spoke last season after Todd arrived about how you felt like it really empowered you or freed you? What have you thought so far of your play this season?
I think I'm moving very well. I think that I have not been able to put the puck in the net to now, and I think that's very frustrating. On the other side of the ledger, I've been able to produce some assists. My face-offs have been good. I feel like my play on the PK has been good. Produced on the power play. So I think there's a lot of good. I think I need to score, and I know that, and I think that's something I'm working on every day. It's something I think about every day. But trying not to let that dictate the rest of my game, and I think that there's always room for improvement. No one's perfect, but I think I'm playing decently well in the other areas of the game.
What did you find most frustrating about the way last night played out after two pretty complete games before?
I think I would say that the first, three of the first four goals were kind of like basic face-off or change type goals that shouldn't happen, I guess. I think those are the most frustrating ones. Stuff's going to happen throughout the play. There's going to be plays that don't connect. Guys are going to miscommunicate. We're going to get scored on during the year. I think it's the ones that the face-offs where everyone knows their assignment. I think it's a bad change that kind of can't happen. So I think those are the most frustrating. And then, overall we weren't great. But we didn't really give ourselves a chance.
Todd mentioned that on the first face-off goal, the Islanders their center got tossed, I think, and then they kind of changed their
that was the play right before where they went one-timer, and then there was Gibby stopped that, and then we had a whistle, and then we changed. So it was right back to back. You go 7-1 on face-offs, and the one you lose goes in your net. That's kind of the way it's going.
Hey, do you feel like the chances have been there for you, or I think there could be more?
Well, of course there could be more. Of course there could be more. I think the last 5 games, I think I have 3 or 4 shots a game, and I've had the breakaways, 2-on-1s, good shots to the net. I think chances are coming more than maybe they were even a little earlier, but they got to go in.
Kasper, when this team is playing its brand of hockey, what does that look like, and how can you guys get that more consistently?
I think it's just on our toes. I think we skate very well as a team, and I think you see us hunting the puck, hunting their D. On the forecheck is probably the calling card. I think that's of any team that wins the Stanley Cup, what you usually say, they're relentless on the forecheck. It's usually the first thing you say. So I think that's how we need to play and play on our toes, and we got to be responsible. We can't be careless, and but the D got to trust the forwards that we're going to be coming back hard and able to pinch and keep plays alive, and be a little bit more predictable.
Marco's kind of going through struggles right now. Can you think back to maybe when you were a younger player, kind of any similar struggles, or is there any advice for him that you could share?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. There's no question about that. I think he'll find his way. I think he's played almost 100 games now. He's got a good amount. I mean, he came in and played way more than I ever did. In my first couple of years. I think my first year I averaged 6 minutes for my first 60 games. That's tough to play. I think he's going to be just fine. So, he might be going through it right now in your guys' eyes. We still got a lot of faith in him, and I think that, game to game, he could score a hat trick tomorrow, and we can be moving on from this conversation, for the rest of the time. But, it's a weird league. One game can make the change, and we got all the faith in the world in him.
Andrew, when a player isn't on a top line, the top six group, what's the key to being effective in ways other than scoring?
I mean, I think bringing momentum to the team, and I think it's being around the net, producing chances, checking well, being responsible. You got to be effective on the penalty kill, and so there's a lot that goes into it. I don't think you change your game too much, but maybe finish a few more checks and talk on the bench a little bit and try and get the group going, be a leader.
Last night was frustrating for the entire team, but for you in particular, was that one of the more frustrating games? It seemed like your emotion kind of boiled over there at the end there with the fight.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's just, like you said, frustrating game for the whole team. You never want to lose 5-0 in your own building, so no, it's just, frustrating for me. Nothing really was going right, and felt like I wanted to do something. You gotta go out and try to do something every game. If it's compete, hit, score a goal, fight, something. Emotions sometimes get the best of you, and that's what happens at the end there. But otherwise, all you can do is look forward and then work through it.
Just the frustration, how are you dealing with this? I mean, the offense has been very difficult to come by here your second season after having such a good second half last year. How do you kind of prevent that frustration from just taking over?
I mean, it's definitely not easy, obviously you're very frustrated and I'm not happy with how things are going personally, but I've talked about it before. All I can do, I think, really is just go out and practice, stand the ice, work on things, work hard, and then go out in the game, try to build confidence, little things, make the simple play, make a hit, stuff like that.
Marco, have you been through anything like this before in your career? Just the slump and just frustration like that?
I think I have, for sure. There's going to be periods where you don't score at all, where just things aren't going right. I think I'm just trying to go back to the things I can do well and that I can actually take control of, which is work hard, compete, and show up every day with the right mindset and do my best.
There's a moment ago, Andrew Copp said that the team has full confidence in you right now. How encouraging is that the team still has faith in you, even though
it's huge. We have a great group of guys in here. You can talk to anybody in here and help you. So it's good to hear, and I think we trust each other, and it's a huge part of how we're at.
Did you get an explanation on the 10 from last night?
It was, I guess, because I was trying to steer things up a little bit, and ref had enough, and I guess didn't give me a 2, so I gave me a 10. That's kind of I don't know. It's nothing sad or anything. It's just kind of how it was.
Marco, an opportunity to secure a winning homestand tomorrow against Columbus. What's the mentality of cleaning up the mistakes from the last game and playing tomorrow?
Yeah, a good video session today. Clean some things up. We want to kind of practice in those video sessions because we can't be on the ice for 2 hours every day. So because it was good, and we'll just try to work to bounce back tomorrow.
Michael, where is your confidence level right now? Do you feel that you're still needs it is where it's supposed to be? Or?
Obviously, I talked about that. I get frustrated when things don't go right, but I'm just trying to build my confidence level and just get back to doing the right things, and it's true doing for the little things and then compete and stuff like that.
Thanks, Marco.
Todd, it looked like Kasper was rotating in on that one line. Are you planning on sitting him, maybe just kind of get a reset? He's dealing with a lot of frustration right now.
Yes, he is dealing with a lot of frustration, rightfully so. I think we addressed all of that yesterday when we talked about him. and we haven't made any lineup decisions.
Just obviously secondary scoring's been an issue with just mainly getting your offense from three guys. I mean, just going forward, what are some of the keys to just for other guys to break through and getting a little bit more balance?
Well, we certainly need that. We had the three of them on one line. We don't have them together now, so hopefully that will, spark the second line, Kaner and Kat getting back together. Maybe we'll get, that line going offensively. And then the bottom six, if you want to call them that. I don't know if they're always that. But they, other teams are scoring against us. We're losing that trade-off. So we need more from there. We spent some time 7, maybe 10 days ago, spending a lot of time working around the net with deflections, screens, feeder shots, rebounds. That's where those goals tend to come from. And we have to spend a little more time. Forecheck can get a little bit better, spend a little more time in the offensive zone so those things can evolve. We can't be one and done. If you reflect back to momentum shifts where we get it going and we keep plays alive, you can feel it coming. You get ahead of the other team. And we haven't had that necessarily from the bottom six lately. We've been one and done. They have had some chances, but then the rest of their energy is spent going the other way. So sustaining it and keeping it alive is important.
Hey, Todd, is that a little bit of a disappointment? Did you expect more offense from that bottom six this season? It's still early, I guess, a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about 25% here by the time we come back from where do we go, Jersey. So it goes fast. It seems like it goes really long. It's a long year and a grind, but it does go fast. The games just fly by, and I could walk into the locker room and say, what, take our stats, take your stats, take the team stats, multiply them by 4. That's what you're going to end up with if you keep doing what you're doing. And there's going to be some guys that are pretty excited about their individual numbers, and then there's others that hopefully can't do math. But the team part of it is the most important part. And we've been able to win games sometimes without them scoring, but we can't sustain that.
Todd, you spoke at the start of the season about how important a role Andrew Copp could play. What have you thought of him in particular?
Well, I think he can be a difference maker. I felt when we got here last year, it took a little while for him to get his footing, but once he got rolling, he played well heading into his injury. I think it was right around the break or somewhere in that area, if I remember correctly. And then when he wasn't around down the stretch, I thought we missed him. Has he got to that point yet this year? I don't think so. But as we talk about the bottom six, he's one that can provide some offensive punch, that we're lacking.
How do you get more consistency out of him? And same, for that matter, with Michael Rasmussen, because you said, I think after his game number 20, maybe it was his best game. It can't only come every 20 games.
No, it can't. I can't sit here and argue with you or try and paint a picture other than, as you mentioned, we need it nightly. Nobody produces offense every night. Even Ovi and those guys that are leading the league or the overall, they just don't do it. But they find ways to chip in and contribute. We challenge them defensively. They have to be good there then if they're not doing anything on the offensive side.
As you go into the second quarter of this season, are there things that you do as a coaching staff to keep the players fresh or adjust or keep them engaged?
You sound like I should trade you spots. Okay, what was the question again? Let's try that all over.
As you go into the second quarter of the season, are there things that you do as a staff that you have found to keep players engaged or fresh or prevent things from getting stale? Obviously, the first quarter of the season is very different from the second quarter and onward.
Yeah, the keep players fresh and stale thing. I think they have a real responsibility to each other to stay fresh and pay attention and push each other. We share in that responsibility by challenging them to get better in certain areas, changing up some practice stuff. We felt we were sloppy in certain areas of the game last night, so we addressed it in practice again today. We targeted certain areas that we have to get better in. You saw what we did on the ice, but we also had, video session before, and part of that was practice. We just can't expend all the energy we have in every segment of the game. So we target certain things, we challenge them, and that's the role that we play in it. Try and come up with different drills for them, keep it refreshing. But they have a Jody, of all people. That never happened. That never happened when he played in San Jose ever. So he's letting it slip. And I didn't even know you were there. So hi, Jody. No problem. That was Mama calling, probably. No. Yeah. So whatever the question was and how I finished it, let's go with that.
The specific play last night on the fifth goal where Shabanov kind of just cuts right through Seider and Edvinsson, was that you just kind of tip your hat to him, or was that kind of a point of emphasis when you say you were looking at video earlier and how to clean things up?
Well, you looked at the you looked at the result, but what was the cause? We turned the puck over in the neutral zone. Our D were going back into the zone, ready for a regroup. We turned it over. Now they're flat-footed, standing still at the hash marks. And a crafty little player's coming at you 100 miles an hour. It's not easy to defend that. Now, could have it been defended a lot better? Absolutely, 100%. But the cause and the effect are two different things. I look at what happened before, and that's unacceptable in my opinion. You put your teammates in a really bad spot by your choice or your poor execution, and then they should be able to clean it up. So, poor and poor.
Are you going back to Talbot tomorrow?
Again, we haven't made any lineup decisions yet. Okay.